Welcome back to Hannity. In light of recent reports that Texas state senator and Democratic gubernatorial candidate Wendy Davis blatantly lied about her personal life story, well, tonight we're going to take a look back at her rise to stardom. Now, you may recall that last summer she staged a filibuster in support of the partial birth abortions, and as a result, she became a media darling overnight. Now, Davis claimed to have been a divorced mom by the age of 19 who managed to graduate from Harvard Law and launch a successful political career all on her own. But as we now know, that heartwarming tale, well, it's unraveling. Now, regardless, back then, the press ignored the truth, and instead they glorified her. And thanks to our friends over at Media Research Center, well, we have the tape to prove it. Take a look at this glowing media coverage.
Taking a stand, one woman's epic all-night filibuster, her desperate effort to run out the clock.
Davis came ready with comfortable pink sneakers. At times, she was passionate. Her message struck a chord, with the topic "Stand with Wendy" trending on Twitter throughout the night.
We told you about that Texas mom, Wendy Davis, who became a folk hero to her supporters.
The marathon filibuster that went viral has turned a little-known Texas lawmaker into a national political star.
All right, now that's how the mainstream media handles a Democrat who has no problem lying about her personal life. But on the other hand, when it comes to somebody on the other side of the aisle, claws come out. Take a look.
We begin tonight with a story of what some are calling an abuse of power and an act of political retribution by those close to one of the most prominent politicians in our country.
More shoes dropping this morning in the Chris Christie bridge scandal. One New Jersey Democrat is using the I word, impeachment.
Back here at home tonight into the political firestorm here. Explosive new allegations. A mayor now taking on New Jersey Governor Chris Christie.
Well, this is not yet a Watergate, but the more we learn about Chris Christie, the more he does look like Richard Nixon.
And here with reaction to the glaring double standard, former Clinton advisor, host of his own radio program on WPHT, 1210 AM in Philly, Dick Morris, the co-host of Geraldo at Large, Geraldo Rivera, the co-host of The Five. Our friend Andrea Tantaros is with us. All right, Andrea, double standard.
Absolutely. And it's not just with Chris Christie, it's with conservative females. We could go through the list. Nikki Haley, Sarah Palin, Carly Fiorina, Meg Whitman, and on and on and on. It's so obvious what they're doing. They're giving her a pass, not just for fudging her resume, but they've exalted her, Sean, as somebody who all women should look up to. And the more you dig, because you have to dig and you have to have conservative sources and people like you digging, you find out that this woman isn't anything that should be looked up to, okay? She had her husband pay for her education, not exactly I am woman, hear me roar. It's I am woman, hear me lie and beg for my husband to do it.
Let me explain this, because why don't you explain, because she had this story, this tale that she was a single mom and she did it all on her own.
In a trailer, and she did it all on her own.
And it turns out.
Pulled herself up from her bootstraps, and it turns out that this woman had her husband pay for her educational career. And as soon as he made the last payment, she said, I'm out of here. She also said, I'm out of here to her 14-year-old daughter and gave her husband custody. So she deserts her kids, and she wants women to desert them, born or unborn.
Geraldo, there is a glaring double standard. That narrative she gave is nothing like what the reality is.
The Potomac River is a mile wide. As children, certainly in my generation, we were taught that George Washington threw a silver coin across the Potomac. Politicians have been fudging their resume ever since the founding fathers. I mean, Winston Churchill claimed he was an F student, and in fact, he was an A- B+ student. You exaggerate how far you've come because you want to embellish your resume. I mean, I'm not Richard Blumenthal, the Democrat who is now a senator from Connecticut, lied about being in the combat in Vietnam.
But stick to the point on this. She lied. She's treated one day, and then you like Chris Christie in a lot of ways,
right? I like Christie. I voted for him twice.
Right.
I'm a New Jersey resident.
Okay, you're a New Jersey resident.
I really do. But I think Bridgegate is a separate thing. That's not about lying about his. I think with what Andrea said about Wendy Davis, I have to really take a slight umbrage. I mean, it's not like she lied about I had the children and I didn't have the children. I mean, she had a pretty rough road. She did graduate from Harvard Law School, for goodness sake. I mean, she is an impressive progressive
but
woman.
not on
now,
her
I'll
own.
agree with you that most of the media is pro-choice. They're pro-abortion, if you will. They tend to support their heroes. The bias of the media, I'm not going to argue that point. I think that
Why are we
larger
arguing
point
whether
is
one
correct.
lie is better than the other? Do you really think that that's a good argument? So, she just flubbed it a little bit here. But Geraldo, imagine a Republican woman lying about her resume. I mean, you have Sarah Palin lying about nothing, and the media created their own narrative and lies for Sarah Palin. I mean, the double standard is really,
Let's
really
bring in Dick
terrible.
Morris. Dick, let's get your thoughts on this from Philly tonight.
Well, obviously, when you run on your bio and the bio is flawed, you're going to run into trouble. But I am very disturbed about Chris Christie. We're in a country right now where the president is usurping executive power to a point where we're damn close to a parliamentary dictatorship. And we have a guy running for president, possibly, who both in Hoboken and in Fort Lee really used his power about as abusively as Obama is using his. So I equate the two of them and, frankly, add to the mix Hillary Clinton with the enemies list and spying on diplomats and all the stuff she did to her husband's women. I think that you're really dealing here with a category of politicians.
Are you saying that you have evidence that Christie's involved in it? Because he did fire people. I haven't seen the smoking gun evidence. And Geraldo,
well, I haven't seen, in Fort Lee, I haven't seen the smoking gun evidence. In Hoboken, we're talking about some very serious charges here that she took to the United States Attorney's Office.
Is it political?
Of housing development he's been pressing. Well, it sure appears to be. And I don't know how this woman, Kelly, had this prearranged plan about shutting down the bridge. How did she know about the traffic lanes? When she sent the email to the Port Authority guy, Wildstein, time for some traffic problems in Fort Lee, cryptic, he said, got it.
Before we go to
60
break.
seconds. Must be more here.
Christie's in a jam, Sean. As much as we admire his politics, as great a candidate as he would have been, this, I said 2 weeks ago, is a cancer on his
I'm mad at
presidency.
Christie. Listen, go back to the
This was
Obama
very,
hug.
very,
Go back to the
By the way,
Obama hug. Go back.
I
hang
don't
on.
think Christie's great.
Christie-
Christie's the reason Obama got reelected.
I agree with Dick on that point.
I agree with Dick on that
I
point.
think that
Here's the
Governor
hug.
Christie put Obama over the top. There's no doubt about
I
it.
don't agree with that.
Now he's got Springsteen and Fallon making fun of him. Now here's my point about Christie. I think Christie, he went after people like Rand Paul, wouldn't sit down with him, embraces Obama, alienating the base, and he thought he was going to be liked, just like John McCain by the liberal media. And now they've turned on him. Now they're trying to crush him and destroy him
Because
politically.
he has no base to rely on in
Not
the
anymore.
jam. He doesn't. Wendy Davis does. Wendy Davis has the entire female mafia in politics.
You want to walk that back? Walk it back, Geraldo. I'll save you a day of heartache.
The difference is that Wendy Davis actually lied. She actually lied, and the media believes that it's a
About
non-story.
living in a trailer park for 6 months as opposed to...
Okay, well, we don't even know
Wendy
if Chris Christie
Right.
lied.
Dick,
I don't
real
think
quick,
anybody
Dick.
knows if Chris Christie
Wendy
lied or not.
Davis
So
has
until
a
we
lot in common
know,
with
Dick?
I don't
Andrea,
think anyone
Wendy
can
Davis
call
has
him just as bad as
Can
President
I get a word in
Obama
edgewise,
did.
Andrea?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wendy Davis has a lot in common with Barack Obama. They both ran on identity politics. You're black, vote for me, I'm black. You're a single white woman, vote for me, I'm a single white woman. It's this identity politics. Don't look out the window at the candidate. Look in the mirror and vote for your genre.
All right, stay right there. We're going to come back. Our panel's going to stick around.